way through. Every detail matters.
You can't let any seconds go to waste.
Times
are super tired.
It's hard to
Stay focused. Eyes always on the prize.
put everything on the line.
You've got to dig deep.
We're all fighting for that top step.
G'day trendsetters, welcome to the magnificent Combloux, Haute-Savoie here in France. We're lining up for round 4 of our UCI Enduro and E-enduro World Cup series. There have been some incredible performances in 2024 so far, which means our World Series points battle is up for grabs on every single level. We have a stunning brand new venue here in Combloux, Haute-Savoie, and the racing is going to be just as spectacular. Let's check out what our athletes have in store now.
On the rollout, riders will take a gondola to a pedal liaison to stage 1. A mixture of natural and physical trails will start the day. The longest liaison to stage 2 will begin the rider's raw and natural stage. Stage 3 is as technical as it is physical and will be a key part in today's race. Stage 4 is by far the most technical and challenging trail of the entire day. Riders will take a second gondola before a pedal liaison to stage 5, the penultimate stage. Stage 6 will be the longest, the highest speed and the fastest stage of the entire race. Classic alpine weather greeted riders with heavy thunderstorms amongst the summer heat, and a brand new course in Combloux, Haute-Savoie awaited. A nod to the classic French enduros of yesteryears, this Haute-Savoie course would challenge riders in every aspect of enduro racing. From stage rollout, riders would liaise via chairlift onto rolling alpine meadows to arrive at stage 1. Conditions would be tricky to start and difficult for many. Hattie Harnden struggled with the slip and slide nature, wrestling her way down the stage in one piece but slightly off the pace in 6th. Ray Morrison opted for some dramatic bike changes in the lead up to prepare for the unpredictable conditions. Her reward was a strong 4th place. Series leader Isabeau Courdurier would suffer a slight derailleur mechanical mid-stage but held on for 3rd. Ella Connolly enjoyed the difficult stage and started her day with a 2nd place. Morgan Shah enjoyed the conditions and rode off with an air of magic about her to claim the stage 1 victory. Shah leads by 3 seconds ahead of Connolly. Despite the mechanical mishap, Courdurier trails by 6 seconds.
Really physical, I think, because it was a bit muddy and it's drying. You need to push out on the pedals.
A little bit of dry up top kind of made you a bit more secure than you should have been, I think, and then into the woods and the roots were out and it was like a river.
Our elite men's category was joined by some familiar faces of our UCI E-enduro World Cup start list, including series contender Ryan Gilchrist. Dimitri Tordo started well despite the testing conditions. Hugo Pigeon started the day with an impressive 4th place. The Yeti Fox duo continues their strong season form with Slavomir Lukasic claiming 3rd and series leader Richie Rude sliding into 2nd. A fresh face but no stranger to the UCI Enduro World Cup podium, Luke Meyer-Smith would take the 1st stage of the day. Times are tight, with Rude sitting 1.4 seconds behind Luke Meyer-Smith. Lukasic and Pigeon are a mere 0.7 seconds apart.
Kind of dry and fast, but this river crossing and uphills are nasty. It takes so much energy from me.
With the heat rising, the long, draining liaisons would begin to take its toll on the riders as the day progressed. Hattie Harnden continues to search for her flow on the technical slippery stages and claims 5th, just behind Ella Connolly in 4th. French athletes dominated stage 2 with Melanie Poujan taking 3rd, Courdurier overcoming her drivetrain issues claims 2nd, and Shah taking her 2nd stage victory of the day. But the Brits fought back on stage 3, with Harnden and Connolly replacing Courdurier and Poujan for the 2nd and 3rd spots. Courdurier would settle for 4th, while Morgan Shah continues her magical home soil ride to make it 3 for 3. The mid-race overall looks like this. Despite struggling with mechanicals and the tight liaison times, Isabeau Courdurier sits 12 seconds off the lead in 3rd. Connolly remains in 2nd, and Shah holds a healthy 11-second lead.
I can't believe it. I think we've been out there 5 hours now. We've still got like 3 more stages to go. It's wild, wild times.
A bit slick in some places, but honestly, it's riding pretty good. It's so fun.
Stage 2 times are extremely tight with a mere 5 seconds separating first to 10th. Charlie Murray would ride into 4th and Richie Rude would claim 3rd. Italy's Mirko Vendemmia continues his strong season form to slot into 2nd. On home soil, Alex Rudeau stepped up to claim his first stage win of the day. Tight racing and close times would continue on stage 3 as Lukasic recovered from a stage 2 mishap to claim 5th, just behind a resurgent Jack Moyer in 4th. Richie Rude stays in touch in 3rd behind a charging Charlie Murray in 2nd. Rudeau maintains his form to claim back-to-back stage wins. After 3 stages of racing, our overall standings has Rude passing Maya Smith for the lead. Charlie Murray takes 3rd, and despite taking 2 stage wins, Rudeau sits in 4th place, just 6 seconds off.
Well, Lorena just like cutting the ruts so nice, and yeah, it's really fun out there, just pushing hard. Every stage is drier than the next one, so you gotta just like keep on turning up the pace.
Harnden claimed 5th place as she searched for her speed on the unpredictable stages. Despite battling illness, Pujan claims another 4th. Isabeau maintains her consistent championship ride, holding on to 3rd. Ella Connolly, riding carefree and confident, maintains 2nd. And speaking of confidence, Morgan Shah surged to her 4th stage win. The overall mirrors the stage 4 results, with Isabeau now 22 seconds back in 3rd. Just over 2 seconds behind Connolly in 2nd. Morgan Shah's dominance rewards her with an impressive 20-second lead.
Since stage 1 I'm having some mechanicals, so I'm trying my best to save time, but it's really tough. Transfer are super tight, so I don't have a lot of time to do what I can on the top, and yeah, I'm struggling today. It's a hard one. Thank you.
Succumbing to a huge crash on stage 4, Charlie Murray fell back to 11th place. Brady Stone was rewarded with a top 10 stage result after an impressive 6th while climbing the overall rankings. Lukasic returns to the pointy end, claiming 4th. Richie Rude would also crash but recovers to take 3rd. Spectacular return of Daniel Booker impresses as he claims 2nd on the most technical stage of the day. But it was Alex Rudeau who has his eyes on the prize in front of his friends and family to take his 3rd consecutive win. As the physical and tight liaisons take their toll, stage 1 winner Maya Smith slides down to 5th place, while the familiar faces of Charlie Murray holds down 4th and Lukasic 3rd. The battle for the lead emerges as a 2-horse race. Rudeau's dominant run lands him just under 2 seconds back from the now overall race leader, Richie Rude. Alex Rudeau, it's been a physical start to the day. Stage 4 was a big one.
Yes, big one, but super cool. Like it's drier than yesterday, and yeah, I really like it.
Riders now face 2 demanding stages, but stage 5 would set the scene for a battle royale after 6 hours in the saddle. Ella Connolly would slightly falter and slide back to 5th on the stage, her first time outside of the top 3. Pujan continued the fight and held on to 4th. Isabeau Couturier, not riding with the aggression she is searching for, would have to be content with yet another 3rd. Harriet Harnden finds the speed and form she's been searching for, claiming an ecstatic 2nd. Despite managing a leaking rear tyre, Shah's impressive dominance continues, claiming her 5th successive stage victory. Shah predictably holds on to her healthy lead as she extends the gap between herself and Couturier. Connolly drops down into 3rd. The penultimate stage would see Richie Rude slightly falter to place 5th. Luke Meyer-Smith rebounds to claim 3rd, keeping his podium hopes alive. Alex Rudeau's winning streak would end as he takes 2nd but gains valuable time on Rude in the overall. It would be Jack Moyer putting an end to Alex's dominance, taking the stage win by a marginal 0.167 of a second. Luke returns to 3rd, keeping his podium hopes alive. Richie's mishap on stage 5 now sets up the ultimate showdown heading into the final test of the day. Just 0.052 now separates Alex Rudeau and Richie Rude. It's been a huge day out in the mountains for our elite athletes. Riders are still out on course right now. It's time for us to take a break, but we will see you shortly. What a spectacular location here in Combloux in the Haute-Savoie region of France. While we're in France, they have some of the most talented and fastest enduro riders we have ever seen. What makes them so fast? We caught up with them earlier to find out.
I started when I was really young, but just like pretty much every other kid, I just had a bike and I would just like ride in the garden.
I started with BMX race at 9 and I ride like from some years, and after I just swapped to mountain bike. It was like more fun.
I did my first bike competition in bike trial when I was 7 years old.
My first race was at 5, and then straight after I joined the local club. It's been so many years from now on.
I think there is like two types of riders in France, like the one who lives really in the south and who rides a lot of rocks and like dusty terrain, and the other one who lives like around here or in Les Vosges or stuff like that, and they like often ride like mud and roots.
I think it really helps the French riders to be able to ride on a different kind of terrain.
French fans, they love it. They love the sport.
I think it's just like a sense of party we bring into the sport.
It's amazing to see all the fun and people, so yeah, it's something special.
They are not afraid to be loud, they are not afraid to come with, like crazy stuff.
They love to support the French as well, and also the other riders, but probably especially the French.
I'm deep fried, Carl, so I've had a fun but tough day.
Honestly, I'm completely empty right now. So I'll try to go smooth and pedal where I can.
I love this terrain, it feels like home. And yeah, now I'm getting a bit tired.
Yeah, it's tight. I think it's like 0.05, and yeah, that last stage on stage 5, I really wanted to push and make a little bit of a gap, because like if I do that, I feel more confident coming to this last one, because Alex has been pretty on it.
It comes down to this, the fastest and longest stage of the day, Combloux. 4.2 kilometres remain for our riders to solidify their place in the 4th round of the UCI Enduro World Cup here in Combloux, Haute-Savoie. Despite the threat of a flat tyre, Morgane Shah would rely on her years of championship experience to ensure a faultless final stage. She settles for 4th. Physically exhausted Isabeau rallied to take 3rd place in the final. Ella would continue to ride carefree and smooth on stage 6 to take 2nd. As Hattie held on to her late race form and claimed the victory on the final stage, she showcased her superior physical form. The final overall standings has Harriet Harnden in 4th. Ella Connolly claims an impressive 3rd place thanks to a day full of consistent stage results. The defending champion dug deep to earn 2nd place. With 5 out of 6 stage wins and in front of her parents, friends and family, Morgane Shah would be rewarded with an ecstatic victory at home in France, claiming the win by a commanding 23 seconds.
I'm really happy to keep it consistent today. Some really physical stages with wet spots, dry spots, you had to push and then hold back, and yeah, so I'm happy to stay on my bike.
Now with such a few rounds and so intense racing, you can never like stop pushing. You really had to dig deep on every single race.
I loved it, and I had such a good feeling today. I was feeling really confident, so I'm so happy with my riding, and I had so much fun and really happy to take the win.
Our overall championship standings have little movement from round 3. Couturier maintains her lead with Harnden following closely in 2nd. An impressive day of racing from Morgane Shah sees her overtake Connolly to claim the 3rd overall spot, with Ella dropping to 4th. A pressure-packed finale between Richie Rude and the French national champion Rudeau awaits. With .052 between them, there is nothing left to chance. With his heart and soul on the line, Rudeau's final corner mistake would prove costly, as he would have to settle for 8th on the stage. Richie Rude would thrive under the immense pressure. Despite a slight mistake, he salvaged 4th. Jack Moyer would continue his late race form and come home with 3rd. Slavomir recovered from earlier mistakes in the day, returning to 2nd place. Luke Meyer-Smith would take his 2nd stage victory, proving his late entry to be worthwhile. What an exhilarating way to end a huge day. Charlie Murray would hold on to 6th to keep his championship hopes alive, and Slavomir Lukasic comes home in 4th. Alex Rudeau suffers a costly mistake on stage 6, which relegates him to a respectable 3rd. Luke Meyer-Smith makes his UCI Enduro World Cup return in emphatic style. But Richie Rude would prevail and come out victorious yet again.
I was so close from Richie at the top of the stage, so I knew it was a big one, a physical one, and Richie is normally better than me on physical parts. So I said, okay, you have to push. I pushed to my limits, a bit too much. I crashed after the pedaling part.
Didn't really expect this. Just was having fun all day. It was good, to test my fitness and stuff. I wasn't really sure where I'd be, and definitely surprised myself, so stoked.
Yeah, when I was in it, I was like, man, this is my stage. I can push hard and just keep the momentum going, and really kind of loving it, just in there and trying to flow. And I felt like those top of the world stages where you're just flowing and trying to push super hard.
Richie Rude maintains his first place in the overall championship, with Lukasic bypassing Murray for second. Alex Rideau now sits in fourth. What a spectacular day of racing that's mimicked only by the views. The dust, almost dust, has just settled from our UCI Enduro World Cup racing. The times were tight and the action was aplenty. Don't go anywhere. Our UCI E-Enduro World Cup action is coming right up. Loop 1 of our UCI E-Enduro World Cup here in Combloux, Haute-Savoie encompassed some favourites from the previous day of enduro racing, with a slippery and technical power stage to start. Greg, weather is better than predicted, right up your alley.
Yeah, loving it. It's been a while since we've had like a fully wet race. Really consuming, like sticky on the ground. Yeah, it's really tough.
Our season overall champions would struggle in Loop 1. Number 2 Gilchrist finishes the loop in 5th place, almost 24 seconds behind.
Really, really proud of how I'm riding. Hard conditions out there, a bit of a setback at Leogang, and I'm just putting that past me.
Overall leader Jose Borges would face a similar fate and rolls into the Taz in 15th place. Hugo Pigeon, taking the confidence from his results in the UCI Enduro World Cup, sits in 2nd place, just ahead of Damien Oton in 3rd. After 2 stage wins, Anton Roge would head into the technical assistance zone, leading the race.
I'm just not taking too much risk. We just need to pedal really hard.
The French dominate the leaderboard as positions 1 to 4 bear the red, white and blue. George Swift takes her first stage win on stage 5 and finishes the loop in 4th position. Highbike's Alia Marcellini would stay consistent in the first loop, staying within the top 3 on every stage. She sits in 3rd position after the first loop. Flo Espiniera, despite winning 2 out of the first 5 stages, would end the loop in an unfamiliar 2nd position. There's nothing in it considering how technical this race is. What do you need to pay attention to here?
Give it all for the win or nothing.
But it is Frenchwoman Estelle Charles who comes into the technical assistance zone almost 5 seconds ahead of Espiniera.
Yeah, it's impossible not to crash if you want to go fast.
Charles leads over Espiniera by almost 5 seconds, with Marcellini in 3rd position. Laura Charles remains wanting as she sits in 7th. So a common thing we've heard from the Taz zone is a lot of riders tried to go with dry tyres to start the day, and that was not the right choice. The Orbea guys over my shoulder are going to go to wet tyres for Loop 2, hopefully get a bit more grip, bit more stability on these wet and treacherous conditions. Loop 2 would begin with a power stage, followed by 4 slippery and technical stages. The ever-changing conditions would prove treacherous for riders as they navigate bike setup and the drying conditions. With 5 stages to go, it is all to play for. After struggling in Loop 1, Yeti Fox Racing's Ryan Gilchrist takes 2 stage victories to finish the day.
To be able to claw it back and to win those last 2 stages, I think that's more special to me than winning finale.
Antoine Roge, despite struggling on the power stage, stayed within the top 3 on 4 out of the 5 remaining stages.
It was so much fun, but it was tough also. The conditions were real struggle.
Damien Oton would ride a smooth Loop 2, showing his skills on the power stage as well as the downhill stages. After a hectic day in the mountains, the elite men's results would look like this. Ryan Gilchrist battled through a disappointing Loop 1 to take third, just ahead of Hugo Pigeon in fourth. Damien Oton would take the silver medal home after an impressive and consistent day. But it would be Frenchman Antoine Rouge who would finish the day victorious. Although finishing third overall on stage 7 and 8, a huge mechanical on stage 8 ended Marcelini's race. George Swift, confident from a stage win in Loop 1, would keep a name in the standings and stay close to the battle of Charles and Espiniera. Flo Espiniera and Estelle Charles continued their battle, and it would be the overall series leader, Espiniera, who would find enough gas in the tank to take the final 2 stage wins. Despite this, Frenchwoman Estelle Charles capitalised on her early lead after Loop 1 and kept the gap between Espiniera with 3 stage wins in Loop 2.
Yeah, clearly there is my parents and they don't come often, so yeah, it's quite cool. So yeah, just for that it's cool to win in France.
Specialised Estelle Charles takes gold by over 5.5 seconds here in Combloux, Haute-Savoie. George Swift would take her best UCI E-Enduro World Cup result to date as she takes the number 3 spot on the podium. The battle between Charles and Espiniera was decided, and for the first time this season, Espiniera loses the battle and takes home silver. Florencia Espiniera keeps their leadership jersey as they remain leading the overall championship, ahead of Laura Charles and Sophia Widenroth. Ryan Gilchrist returns to the top spot and now leads the overall, with Jose Borges dropping to second ahead of Hugo Pigeon in third. What an incredible 2 days of racing here in Combloux, Haute-Savoie. The UCI Enduro and E-Enduro World Cup racing has been spectacular, almost as spectacular as the views here in this brand new venue. We've got 2 rounds left to go for our UCI Enduro and E-Enduro World Cup series. You can stay tuned to all the action on Eurosport Cycling and UCI Mountain Bike World Series social media channels. We head to another French round. I'm getting well adjusted to my French culture here, and then onto a brand new venue in the Lech Glacier in Switzerland. Stay tuned and we'll see you trackside.